Here she comes. You can hear the roar increasing as she accelerates to 150 miles an hour. .250, and she rotates and lift off. Concorde climbing away to New York. She'll be there in just over 3 hours.
Shortly after takeoff, whilst climbing at a rate of 2,000 feet per minute, the crew undertake the noise abatement procedure.
3, 2, 1, noise.
This involves cutting the power by 15% and switching off the engine reheats, helping to reduce the noise for those living underneath the flight path.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, Captain Chris Norris, cruising along now 26,000 feet at just under the speed of sound. We're estimating arrival in New York, touching down around 10 minutes past 9, just over 3 hours from now, the time in New York, 5 past 6.
Once clear of the coastline, Captain Chris Norris engages full power once more, whilst the flight engineer applies the reheats in pairs. Firstly, the inboard pair on engines 2 and 3, followed by the outboard pair on engines 1 and 4. At this point, the passengers will have noticed 2 slight nudges in the back of their seats as the extra raw power kicks in, helping Concorde accelerate towards the sound barrier at Mach 1. As the aircraft passes the speed of sound, the only indication on board to identify the change of status from subsonic to supersonic comes in the form of a horizontal indicator, flickering as it picks up the shockwave off the nose as the plane passes Mach 1.
The pleasure of this being a job of work that we do is that I think we all, without question, enjoy coming to work to fly this aeroplane. I'm not sure that all airline crew could say that. We certainly all very much enjoy flying the aeroplane. We look upon it as being paid to enjoy ourselves, although don't tell British Airways that. I think that is one of the things about the aeroplane, that it is the only machine in the world where people can travel at this sort of speed, in this sort of comfort. If you travel in a fighter aeroplane at this speed, you'll be sitting in a pressure suit, breathing through an oxygen mask, whereas our passenger sitting back there, drinking champagne, flying at more than twice the speed of other aeroplanes, nearly 2.5 times the speed of other aeroplanes, considerably higher up than other aeroplanes. And it is again unique. It's the only aeroplane capable of such performance. Until recently we weren't quite the highest people on the planet because there was the Mir station which had astronauts up in space. But now that that is no longer there, the people on this aeroplane today are actually the people furthest above the planet, and every time we fly the aeroplane, of course, that is the case. Our position at the moment is that we're at 45 degrees north and 57 degrees west. That means that we are to the south of Newfoundland and Nova Scotia in Canada. We obviously choose a routing that keeps us over the sea because that means we can stay supersonic all the way to our final descent into New York. The routing that we've done to achieve that is to take off out of London and fly subsonically towards the Bristol Channel, and then when we get to the south of Wales we become clear of the coastline. We can accelerate the aeroplane and climb it up. We have two set routings which take us to New York, or one that takes us to New York and one that brings us back again. There's no need to vary the tracks on a day-to-day basis because the winds up here are almost insignificant compared with our speed, so we always use the same routings. We fly along that routing. We have the height from 50 to 60,000 feet to ourselves, so we do what's called a cruise climb. And at the moment the aeroplane is actually climbing very slowly, 56,200, because there is nobody else up here to get in our way. So we just leave the engines on full cruise power and allow the aeroplane to gradually climb up as it gets lighter.
For the seasoned transatlantic subsonic traveller, it's almost inconceivable that a mere 2 hours after leaving London and already the aircraft is passing Newfoundland in northeast Canada, providing a sharp reminder, if one were needed, of Concorde's staggering performance. In order to avoid creating a sonic boom over land, Concorde is deliberately flown on a longer, more southerly course out to sea, passing a long, narrow sand spit called Sable Island.
The restriction coming into New York is that we have to be subsonic before we cross the coast, but we in fact choose to do a routing that keeps us off the coast right until we get to Kennedy Airport, so we can stay supersonic right up until the point where we have to start slowing down in order to make our landing at Kennedy Airport. And the way we slow down is whatever height we've got to on the Atlantic crossing, we hold that height, bring the speed back to about 1.5 times the speed of sound, and then we start descending and also continue slowing up back to the realms of subsonic flight, where we mix in with the other subsonic aeroplanes and become just like any other aeroplane landing at Kennedy Airport, controlled by air traffic in New York.
As Chris Norris's flight from London is tracked down the US coastline in preparation for landing at New York, its controllers are already in the process of handling another 3 Concorde flights in and out of Kennedy Airport. In fact, a combination of Air France's 2 Concorde flights, in addition to BA's 2, result in JFK playing host to more of these extraordinary airliners than anywhere else in the world.
Kennedy Airport, Air France, Concorde 001.
Air France 002, heavy Kennedy Tower, runway 31 left.
I mean, they got them for...
Speedbird 1, heavy side, heading 350.
Head 350.
In order to give the pilots a better view of the approaching airfield, the co-pilot lowers the nose and visor 10 miles out from JFK. As flight BA1 from London nears the end of its journey, another Concorde flight, BA2, prepares to depart JFK for London on the opposite runway.
Speedbird 2 heavy after departure, fly to Canarsie, climb, sorry about the wait, wind 02010, runway 31 left from the intersection, clear for takeoff. Canarsie flyers, Speedbird Concorde 2, clear for takeoff, 31 left. Taka 580, Kennedy Tower, course and wake turbulence to Concorde, runway 31 left, taxi into position, all next arrival is 13 miles out. Put you on a hold, 31 left, back up 80. Speedbird 2, flying in Canarsie, climb, noise abatement. 454, Alpha Echo, you exit in the area to the northwest, rate of service terminated, squawk 1200, frequency change approved, good day.
The American 1832 is a visual 31 left.
American 1832, couple of departures prior to you, runway 31 left, clear to land, the wind 030 at 11.
Land 31 left, American 1832.
To avoid the many residential areas that surround Kennedy Airport, all aircraft, including Concorde, are required to approach and depart the airport via predefined routes. On this morning, as the wind changed from a northerly to an easterly direction, Chris Norris and his crew were told to position their Concorde onto the Canarsie approach, where aircraft have to undertake a spectacular right-hand sweep before rolling out onto finals at the last minute. As the aircraft touches down at some 180 miles per hour, a combination of reverse thrust on the 4 Rolls-Royce Olympus engines and powerful brakes brings the Concorde to a mere walking pace in a matter of 30 seconds.
Seabird Concorde 1, heavy turn left this taxi into your ramp, monitor ground 121.9, good morning.
Okay, left here into the ramp 1219, bye-bye.
A mere 3 hours and 13 minutes from London, and today's passengers already have the Big Apple in their sights.